Alright, take two. First time, mic was up recording. Hello, future Bryce here. I am so sorry. I have called the Philosopher's Stone in this entire video the Sorcerer's Stone. I do not know what came over me, but I sincerely apologize. And I meant to say Philosopher's Stone each time I say Sorcerer. Hello! Welcome to Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down, a place to talk about movies and TV. Today, I want to do something a little bit different from my traditional reviews. I spent a couple past weeks just watching the Harry Potter movies, really getting back into that universe. I did not watch Fantastic Beasts movies. We'll get to that eventually. I just really wanted to dive into this and really do a ranking because I am a huge Harry Potter fan, love it to death. I think those first 8 films are really masterpiece in the world right now. And just fantastic movies, so I decided to do a ranking. Before we get started, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Make sure you put down in the comments your ranking. Let's have a lively discussion. And now, without further ado, let's begin. Number 8 is going to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, as a preface, with all of these films, they are all fantastic. Even though I have some that are probably controversial in this list, ranking-wise, I want it to be known that this is an incredibly hard list to make because all of these movies are pretty on par with each other and they are just fantastic sources of entertainment. Now, I put Sorcerer's Stone in number 8 because it's just a great foundation for the franchise. It's the introduction. We are entering the wizarding world along with Harry, and it doesn't really do anything extreme and it doesn't do anything underwhelming. Of course, the standout scene, in my opinion, would be the chess scene. Really high stakes from Ron's perspective. He has to keep 3 pieces protected, not only just the king, but the pieces that Harry and Hermione are on. Because if he didn't keep those safe, bad things would happen and we wouldn't have a franchise. Of course, Professor Quirrell, great character, Voldemort on the back of the head, great introduction to that, to the greater being of the antagonist in this movie, the franchise. Other than that, it really doesn't do much. I mean, we get standout scenes of like the chess scene, Quirrell, Harry seeing the mirror and his parents in the mirror. Just great start of an incredible franchise. With that being said, moving on to number 7 is going to be Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, this might be a hot take, but out of all of the movies, this one I kind of just, I mean, I remember it, of course, but I didn't really get much out of it other than Sirius's death, which I want to go on a tangent here. I found it a little underwhelming. The Avada Kedavra, sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing things. That spell in a whole is just instant death. And I felt like Sirius's death was just kind of absolutely out of nowhere. It just kind of, Bellatrix showed up, hit him with the spell, he died. There was a little moment, because he was right next to Harry, that they looked at each other as he fell down. But we really didn't get a moment of mourning. It just moved on to the next thing. And Sirius is such an important character. I wish he had an important death. Well, I mean, it's an important death. But I wish it was drawn out, where we could really feel what Harry was feeling in that moment. Again, another thing is the whole plot line Dumbledore was doing of ghosting Harry. I understand. I appreciated what they're doing. What they were doing. I thought it was very well executed, letting us, the audience, feel what Harry was feeling in the essence of rage that Dumbledore wasn't speaking. But it really made me angry, especially when he came out to get Professor Trelawney back into the castle as Umbridge was kicking her out. And Harry came running in, screaming Professor Dumbledore, screaming Professor, and he disappeared. I was really angry. And that was a great plot line, but it also just like, come on, man, just talk to him. Explain to him what you are doing. Another thing I want to highlight, the actress who plays Professor Umbridge, unfortunately, I don't know the actress's name. Incredible. One of the greatest actors in the entire franchise, Professor Umbridge. We love to hate her. She did an incredible job. I thought it was a great little mini antagonist, just incredible. Moving on is going to be number 6 with what used to be my personal favorite, and that would be Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now, what this movie does right, I think it does extremely well. The games themselves, or the tasks, are a lot of fun. I mean, extremely iconic, especially the first one with the dragons. Seeing Harry on the broom with the dragon chasing after him, extremely iconic, great special effects from the time, and it's a lot of fun, especially in the same vein with the rest of the tasks. I mean, the lake scene is extremely incredible amount of fun to watch, and the maze also terrifying, really scary. I mean, Dumbledore did warn the characters that it's going to be intense, and it was extremely intense. And also, I loved them trying to find out like how to win these games. It really made me feel part of the story of wondering how they can accomplish these games, especially with the egg, trying to find out what it was. But where this movie really drops off for me is the performances. I mean, and of course, might not be the character's fault, or I mean, the actor's fault themselves, could be just the direction of the movie. However, Hermione in particular, I don't want to like call out Emma Watson or anything, but she has the same scowl on for the entirety of the movie, except for like 6 seconds, you can count it on your hand, of the ball, when she's happy and she's laughing with Harry and Ron, and then immediately she snaps back and has her scowl again. And that's not inherently problem, because I understand they're teenagers now and they really bumped up the teenage angst. However, I think they bumped it up too much. It was kind of distracting. Another thing that Goblet of Fire super excels at is Cedric Diggory's death. Of course, it is iconic, it is tragic, but it's so effective. Whereas I felt underwhelmed with Sirius Black's death, I thought Cedric's was incredible. And this was the turning point. I mean, obviously, because this was the return of the Dark Lord Voldemort, but Cedric's death was just incredible. Especially when they brought him back and his dad broke down. The actor, phenomenal. And it was just incredible. And I wish that's what they did with Sirius, but that's all right. Now, with the Goblet of Fire, I didn't have any negative things except for the scowl, but like most of these movies in general, like you're going to find out soon, they're all just great films. And it's really hard to pick problems with them because I don't have that many problems in general, but this is a ranking. Some movies have to be below others, some have to be higher. Now at our 5th spot is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now where the Sorcerer's Stone laid the foundation of the world and everything we expect, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets built upon that very successfully. It still is kind of a low stakes. We're still experiencing the world, digesting it. We do get the introduction to Tom Riddle, and that is extremely important because obviously that is Voldemort. And it's another one of those films where I just kind of, it exists. And it's a great, fun adventure. The basilisk fight is really a ton of fun. Our look at the Polyjuice potion is fun. One thing that really I don't understand is why they put Emma Watson through all that makeup for a 5-second her turning into a cat scene. I mean, I guess it was funny. It's kind of scary as when I watched it as a kid, because again, I just don't understand why they did it, because it didn't really go anywhere. But I mean, it was fine. Now, on the movie as a whole, again, reinforcing the statement of it just kind of exists, where it's the first stepping stone really into Voldemort coming back. I mean, we saw him in the first movie, but this movie really is Tom Riddle, and we kill a Horcrux in this film. So, again, just solid movie, a lot of fun, action scenes, fun, like the whole basilisk fight is just crazy cool stuff. But again, it's just another movie that just kind of exists. don't have any problems with it. Don't have any exciting factors about it either. So yeah, solid 5th place. Now at our 4th spot is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now I believe this is Daniel Radcliffe's best performance in the entire franchise. As an acting major, I really appreciated how natural Harry felt in this movie. All of his little smirks and his non-dialogue acting worked extremely well. I thought he was the highlight of this film, especially in particular the scene where Hermione was questioning him about the liquid luck and pouring it into Ron's drink for the Quidditch game, but he really didn't do it. Harry doesn't say a word in that scene. Hermione is just talking to him, and he's just smiling, and he's holding up the liquid luck and just giving her like a grin. And it's just incredible acting. We know exactly what is happening with him, what he's saying in his mind, and it's just phenomenal. Another thing about this movie is I do like the mystery behind the Half-Blood Prince and who it was. Of course, Dumbledore's death, another one of those really, really, really effective deaths. And I think the best use of the Avada Kedavra spell because it really showed, like, it slowed the motion down. It showed Dumbledore falling off the tower, and I felt that was a lot better than Sirius's death with that spell, and with good use. Because if I was underwhelmed by Dumbledore's death, I would be a lot more disappointed than I was with Sirius Black's. I think this movie excels at balancing the tone of the dark side of the movie with Dumbledore's death and building up to that, and the comedy. I think Lavender Brown and the Lavender Brown and Ron stuff with Hermione being jealous handled extremely well. Lavender Brown was just a hair obnoxious, and I think that was great. I never got really extremely annoyed by her, and the actress really fulfilled her role. Again, not really many things negative to say about Half-Blood Prince. Very good movie. Now, before I move on to my top 3 Harry Potter films, I want to take a second to remind you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It really does help my channel grow. And place in the comments your ranking. Break down my ranking. What do we disagree? What do we agree with? I would love to have the discussion. Make sure, please, to make it a clean, nice conversation. Don't call anyone out with negative stuff. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone resonates with films differently, and I just want to keep this a safe space to talk about our favorite movies. With that being said, let's move on to our top 3. Coming in 3rd place is going to be Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1. Now, with Half-Blood Prince being Daniel Radcliffe's best performance, I think Deathly Hallows Part 1 is Emma Watson's best performance, hands down. There was a scene in this movie specifically that stuck with me since the very first time I watched it to right now when I watched it again, and that is definitely when Hermione was captured and being tortured by Bellatrix Lestrange and being etched, mudblood being etched into her arm. I think Emma Watson's cries out for help or begging her to stop doing it is just incredible acting. I really felt extremely sad for Hermione, and I had chills, and I felt just like Ron, who was ready to go over there and just beat up Bellatrix with his fists. It was, cannot rave to Emma Watson about that scene more at all. Absolutely phenomenal. Not only that, I think the MacGuffin side of the film, the looking for the Horcruxes was really fun. Finding the Horcruxes felt satisfying. Whenever Ron destroyed the locket with the sword, extremely satisfying moment. I even liked the quarrel between Harry and Ron. I know it was built because of the Horcrux, but I also feel like there was some tension growing in general just because they were traveling a lot together, and again, Ron got the sword and the stick, and I just thought that built on to itself very well. Now, why this movie doesn't reach higher than 3rd is because these next 2 movies extremely high stakes. Like, this movie does have stakes, obviously. We're building up to Death House Part 1, but that's all this feels like. It just feels like build up to Deathly Hallows Part 2. And that's not inherently bad, but that's just why it's in 3rd place. If it had a more satisfying ending, or better conclusion, better stakes, might be a little bit higher. But with that being said, moving on to second place is going to be Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, this movie has got to be one of the most satisfying conclusions to a franchise I have ever seen. We spent Deathly Hallows Part 1 pretty much not in Hogwarts whatsoever. So that return to Hogwarts with Snape in as the headmaster, it was extremely satisfying. John Williams' score in this movie was breathtaking, just absolutely incredible, satisfying moments. And the final battle between Harry and Voldemort, every time they fought, it was incredible. I've used that word a lot, but this franchise is just incredible. But in particular, the visuals, the music, the stakes, their chemistry as opposing forces, incredible. Voldemort, really, really, really solid. Villain presence, incredible. I'm so sorry I keep using that word. Anyways, even the side characters like Neville Longbottom, he has multiple moments of satisfying. Like, this movie in its own is just extremely satisfying. Neville Longbottom getting to cut Nagini and that giving Harry the advantage to kill Voldemort. Or when Harry dies and he speaks to Dumbledore, is just a great chance to see Dumbledore again, because that, of course, iconic, incredible character. And then the ending of this movie, again, satisfying. We get to see the aftermath, the 17, I think, is the time skip, 17 years, with our heroes as family sending off their kids to Hogwarts. Draco and Harry having this moment of kind of like a truce. I'm not sure if they're friends at this moment. I think that is up to interpretation. That's totally fine. I love that. I love not being spoon-fed plot lines. But yeah, this movie is just... it hit every beat that I wanted it to hit as a finale. It is... loved it. That was part 2. But with that being said, there has to be a number 1. And that number 1 is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, this movie hits on all cylinders. Every kind of tone is hit in this movie. It's sad. It's kind of scary. It is hilarious. It's just an incredible masterpiece of a movie. I'm not going to say incredible the rest of this video. But where this movie excels is the storytelling. I mean, we get Harry hating on Sirius and then learning that he's not really a bad guy. The Buckbeak coming in, beating up Draco, great. The Time Turner sequence, I thought it kind of works as an epilogue, because the movie could have just ended with, I mean, it would have been kind of sad and not the Harry Potter we know if Sirius died in this moment, but it could have just ended with that. But I thought the Time Turner sequence was extremely well executed. It was a cool explanation of events that happened before. We getting to see Harry Potter's Patronus for the first time, extremely satisfying. Where it goes scary a little bit with Lupin transforming and the fight between Lupin and Sirius in their animal forms, terrifying, but also amazing. Getting to know that Ron's rat really wasn't Scrabbers, but Peter Pettigrew the entire time. I mean, this movie was just excellent. Like, there's not much else to say except everything about this movie it was perfect. It might be one of my favorite movies of all time. And there you have it. That is my ranking of all 8 of the Harry Potter films, excluding the 2 Fantastic Beasts films. Please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to make this channel grow, and let me know in the comments below, seriously, your ranking in the Harry Potter films. Pick apart mine. Let's have a discussion about what we disagree, what we agree on. But please keep it safe, open. Don't come with negative, bashing someone with negative things to say. Everyone has their own opinion. We all have our own opinions, and that's what make movies incredible. Because which we all have different interpretations. There are different movies to resonate with. So maybe you have Sorcerer's Stone as number 1, and that's totally fine. So please let me know down below. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.